Did you press record yet?
Yeah.
She did. Do you see that poor girl? She's got talent. She has emotion. She has good tone. She plays reasonably in tune. But
Was she in YPCO or something?
Yeah.
So you said, right?
But what a disaster here. You saw that, right? It's just like a disaster there. And she was Mignon's classmate in elementary school.
Oh.
And the family asked me to take her as a student, and so did Rem. But I only wonder what would be happening if she started with me together with me. She's much more emotional. She's not Korean, but that's not everybody's fault, right? What happened?
I fell.
Fell where?
Are you ever gonna send us the recital video?
Today, I promise.
Yeah?
Everybody is upset at me now.
Oh,
But I honestly did not have 1 minute of free time.
I believe you.
But I will. And I could just send the link, but I want to at least write a few sentences thanking Miles and Chris.
Oh.
And it takes more than a few seconds. I will be in the car tomorrow, maybe. I will make my kids type a letter.
So we had a thought,
Mhm.
which is not really a request necessarily. But next year, since we're gonna be in Texas and we have all these FaceTime lessons instead of in the room lessons, right? Which we're hoping is gonna work. Is that you're so amazing at these, what I call chopsticks and chef's chicks, I can't pronounce them.
Self-check.
Whatever, all those things that we were thinking, Marcia and I were thinking, how to make sure we get the most out of the time that you're actually together in the same room, because things will be so different when you do the FaceTime. And
I don't
Marcia
know.
said, that your stuff with the chopsticks, chef sticks, whatever, I can't pronounce it, is so amazing that make sure we get as much of those in. And also Ella really likes those too.
Well, that's the point. And many great teachers, like Millie was teaching Shevchik to cellos, even though it's about violin exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Some idiot at some point they wrote them for the cello and published the book, but the mistake is, especially for cello it's less important, but for viola it is, because they rewrote it in the same key.
Oh.
And the exercise has to be done on certain strings, not in a certain key.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason they did that apparently there is a piano part for that thing, which I never ever use because it's totally irrelevant to the technique. But
so you think you'll still be able to teach all these over the?
yeah, I
Okay.
think so, because if she goes through basic steps in this, and we still have time to do that,
Yeah, we still have time.
then she will know what I'm talking about. It's when you start on the first 2 pages when you have to actually put the hands on and move the parts, and then again she has you. And
Well,
you will
yeah, and
understand.
Marcia, and we could maybe put Sean in our suitcase.
Well, better send a suitcase of her here sometimes.
Well, we'll try it. I'm gonna try
Because,
to do that, of course, as much as I can.
Once in a while, it would be fine if she. I unfortunately don't do this often enough. My doctor said it has to be done at least twice a month, or I will go down, and I'm not feeling very well. I'm exhausted. I'm talking lake, because for me, it's a circle of things that I do. I like to cook. That's my favorite place to practice besides San Domingo stage. I like the lake. I like the boats. I like fishing. I love fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a soldier, so I'm a member of the giant private range there, so I sometimes climb the mountains there and shoot targets. I never kill anything unless I eat it. But in fishing business, fish fights with its lips. So if the hook goes on the lip, it bothers them, but it doesn't hurt them. It's like nails to them. So I can carefully remove the hook and put the fish back in the water that I don't eat. If you shoot at a bird, then you cannot let it fly again, right? So I never hunt. Although somebody asked me if your family is starving, say some idiot put some dirty bomb in the air or whatever, I have a place to escape. And if my family doesn't have food, I have no problem. All this food is roaming around my house there. I will provide it.
Right.
And I never miss. Right? But I will never shoot anything alive for sports.
So you're saying you want to try to get away twice a month from now on? If you
I
can?
am trying, and it doesn't work, but I'm trying. But in 6 weeks, I'm going to Thailand for 8 days with Anthony, and that's a long-awaited father-son thing.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be just the two of us, and we have many things planned. But what I was saying, that if once every 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, whatever, you could put her on a plane, I'll meet her on the other side, and I will try to plan a couple of days off around this, maybe even with my kids. We can go out to the lake, she'll have a good time, but she could also play, and I could fix things that require hands-on thing with the hands, We could still do the FaceTime, only you will watch from the other end.
Yeah.
And I will take details, videos of the hands and fingers and bow positions and whatever. Because I understand what you're saying. I collected a tremendous amount of knowledge. And it's easier, of course, hands-on. When they signed a contract with me in San Domingo, I was not even where I am right now. I was much younger. But I said that if you don't want me to touch a student, then don't hire me. I promise I'm a perfectly safe person, but I cannot teach a violinist without putting my hands on that violinist. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Some people try. Anyway, let me tune your violin to save some time. How are you doing? I love that doggy. Is it a dog or what is it?
I don't know.
So, how did you manage to fall like this? I don't know.
At school,
That's
there's
cool.
like this stuff because
Did you
we
cry?
have like bunga. I screamed the loudest I've ever screamed.
Okay, good.
Hee hee.
Yeah. All right. So, what did you do?
I did Septu.
Good. Let's do Shepchi.
Kind of. I
Let
don't
me
know.
check your file.
I don't know which one to do.
Start from the beginning.
Okay. From the first one.
Oh, well, okay,
Oh, a kitty.
but you could ask him what you didn't know what to do, so, you can have it in your head. So she's practicing one of these, she stops, and she goes,
That's how words.
Really? Just like that, huh? That's
So,
good.
okay, what's part
Next time, take a video and I will show it to everybody at the festival. Go.
Wait. Okay.
Okay, stop. Do you remember Aiden? Have you met Aiden?
I don't know.
He's my Korean student. He's the second most brilliant academically kid in San Domingo. There's a computer in the head, I think. This July, he started to play viola.
Mm.
He was the one to play before Mignon at the recital of the Brook Romance. Can you
Mhm.
imagine? In July, he played the first note on viola.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And George Thompson came to visit us at the Bartok concert, and I asked him to listen to it. He spent an hour and a half working on that Brook Romance. And at the end, he says, I just want to take a video of that bow arm and take it back to Oregon to show to everybody. And I remember about this because that bowing was perfect. So I don't need to comment on this, you just need to play this thing once every 2 days or so through. Make sure you do it up to speed, do it in tune, and remember what is the most important thing when you do any exercise. Oh boy, squeaky.
I don't remember.
Beautiful sound. Quality of the sound. Nobody likes the virtuoso with ugly sound. You played well, and your technique was perfect. So I'll leave it up to you for now. At some point we'll review, but at this point there's nothing else I need to tell you about it. Go to the second one. By the way, this is your file. These are your 4 rednesses. 2 of them are fixed. Read the number 3.
Wait, slow down.
Read the number 4. Read out loud.
I still can't think for any exercises to town.
I couldn't hear you. What?
Exactly. Stop mumbling. Deliver the speech.
The most important thing for any exercise
Yes.
is good tone.
Right. That's what was glued to Eleanor's stand. Every time the student would, before putting the music on stand, would read it. Otherwise, why bother, right?
Right.
Okay. So this is important. Now, I haven't done this notes for a long time, but you were taking videos, but I will do it for myself. We have February, what today? 15, right in the middle. Ooh. And it's an election year too. Wait a minute, but if you move to Texas, you would have to vote for president. Look at the Wuxie that your mama gave you.
I'm not changing my voting status.
Oh, come on. You're gonna be Texan. You're gonna get yourself
I'm already a Texan.
armadillo
I'm already a
boots.
Texan.
And
I was born in Texas.
see?
See?
Okay. Next. That's the one, yes. Very good. I wonder if I could do better with that equipment. Let's see. I sound a little cleaner. Why?
Because you're not on the frog.
Exactly. It feels like you're more in control here. But as a matter of fact, you have to move much heavier boulders right there. So that's the best I can do. And that's kind of, right? So we need to find this. Everything here moves, everything. But we're not moving actively. We are following the ball, remember? So when your technique is amazing, you're lifting the bow and landing it perfectly, and you're fine. You're doing very, very fine, but you're too far from the sticker. And this is not a bad bow. Curve it a little bit out. It will also smooth down the drop. Don't play big. It's like this lift, no more. See? Ooh. Try. Good. Good. And your shoulder is down. That's a great sign too. This is not perfect because there is a lot of imperfections, scratches and squeaks and whatever, but your technique is correct. If you can find it, it would be great. I would like to add, and I will actually type it in. I would like to add something. And as you see, when it's getting better like this, when she answers my questions, when she guesses what in this big girl, a girl's playing what the problem is, she guesses because she knows.
Why can't she do it without bouncing so high?
Pardon me?
Why is it hard not to bounce high?
Because she was too heavy. She was at the frog.
But even just now when she moved it up, it's still going higher.
She didn't get the feel of that yet.
Okay.
It's a huge precision. It's not really controlling it like this, right? It's following the bow. I know what the bow is going to do, and I'm following it. I'm forcing it gently and then following it, and she has to do this, and she's holding the bow a little bit too tight. Still, she's flexible, but she's afraid a little bit. I literally hold the bow almost as light as dropping it. See, I go with it. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do. You play many scales now, right? Let's use D as a standard exercise scale for the strokes. I want you to play this way. Try. Either on the note or above. Not bad. Turn it a little bit this way and drop it from above. Start again. There you go. Let go more. Let go from the wrist. Relax it, and that's right. Keep going. Stay in the proper place. Life. Okay, good. Yes, and your mom was asking a good question. Have you ever played basketball?
Yeah, but to me, some of these things are not about violin. Some people can do that easier than others. Right.
Some people natural at one thing and not natural in another, right?
Right, yeah.
But there is still technique everywhere. I played basketball in college and then I brought it back. I'm not a crazy fan, but I went to a few games and I enjoyed Voyagers, etc. Right? And when I went flying in Auckland International, there is a little private airport attached to it, right? And I was excited to find Clay Thompson's car there. Apparently he is flying there too. Right, but the point is that when you dribble in basketball, you never hit the ball light. You always hit it hard, whether you play here or you play there. In her case, she's losing the bounce off.
Mm-hmm.
She keeps coming down because the ball is not bouncing and eventually ends up to be brushing it.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to trust that the ball will come back. I do. And I can play low or high. See, or I can go like this. And I still use the natural bounce of the stick. This is not fatigue or sartori, but it's dissing. And everywhere I will use the natural bounce of the bow following it. That pinky is holding the bow, controlling it, but everything goes down right there. I'm not doing this way. That's and she's kind of scratching this way. It's not plucking, only first note. Understand? So practicing the scale, please don't forget that elbow is critically important when you change strings in a flying stroke. Any flying stroke, elbow must change. Understand? So if you go like this, if I keep violin steady, then I have to change like this. Do you understand? So, and as you go from here to here and back, just do 4 times. And if you're really adventurous, you can do 3. If you can. Can you? I'll show you. That's deadly for Asians. They can never do this. Apparently some say well, you in that field, you may know that apparently a Caucasian thing in triangles or 3 points and Asians in squares. To ask Asian violinists to play simple scale sautillas 3 times each note is a deadly thing to do. Some of my strongest kids couldn't do. Mignon couldn't do it until she was 8 or 9. She was already playing Wieniawski concertos and whatever, but she could still not do it. It's deadly. Let's see if you can. Go straight. Good, good, very good. And actually 3 is better for you because it goes down, up, right? It gives you a little bit of this because you're too close here. It's better, but it's still too close. Go here. And then later I'll teach you how to play sautille. Okay? Did you do other exercises? Did you do the other ones? Let's go. So number 2, higher in the bow. And take it to the scale. On scale. 3x. Alright, number 3. Anytime. You have 8 more minutes for this, and then I would want your piece.
Okay.
You know what? I think Millie is smiling right now. It's so good. But one thing is wrong. What's the tempo of yours?
It says to do coordinate equals 188.
And equals what?
188.
188 is impossible.
What is it? Oh, that's 138.
That's a little bit easier. Even 138 is, I don't think, possible for you, but I hope I still can do it. Let's find out. Ooh, I'm so nervous. Give me that bow. Oh, look. It's hard even for me. I could do it on my violin, but you at this point is at least twice slower, and you're already slowing down the beginnings. So let's say you will start at 100. See? You with vibrato and with emotional sound, and you made a piece out of that, but you lost the rhythm. And part of the exercise to play in time. So good. Try. Right. So in other words, you have to think faster. Okay? The very least what I need, wake up computer. The very least that I need is to bring number 3 to 100. To 100, and I will say plus. 138, I believe, is almost impossible in a way to do everything correctly, understand? But someday before you go and start eating a lot of steaks, you're not vegetarian, are you? Good. Then at least one thing will be good in Texas. Anyway, watch out for those scorpions. Are there scorpions where you going?
Not
Okay,
really.
good.
I mean, you know, I'm not worried about it.
Okay. They're tasty. I'm looking forward in Thailand. Do you understand? Next. We have 5 more minutes. Yeah. Okay, good. Now let's see what will be different if I trade. Not bad. Not bad. Now, besides me playing out of tune because this violin is too small, what is
You're
different?
using more bow.
I am. What do I do? My circle is bigger and you got. No, you have to get this and add more bow on the string. Try. Wait a little bit slower perhaps. Very slow is very hard, but a little slower is possible, and try to get more bow. Oh, what a mess! What a mess! Good, let me show you something else. Dropping the bow here, or here, or here, or here creates a different result. If you drop it here, it flies that way. If you drop it here, it goes that way. Somewhere here is the sweet spot where it just stays. So when you have to go crazy chords, you hit it in a sweet spot. So it doesn't go there or it doesn't go here. Do you understand? So here, when you go here, you have to hit it. To me, it's right about the place where the silver winding ends. So just a little bit before. If you hit it a little bit too close to the frog, you lose the bow that way. You are hitting about here, and it goes bouncing this way, so you squish it back and you go. Do you understand? Can you do for me this? One note, bum. Make sure you hit it from there, drop that shoulder, and no, hit it from there, like. Very good. How about twice? Pom pom. Make sure, see, you lost the bow. You hit too close here and the bow went this way. So you need to hit it a little bit this way, drop the shoulder and go. That's better, especially the second one. How about 3 times? Pom pom pom. Now pom 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 pom. No, move more, move more. And make sure that you
It's
enter.
getting really sweaty.
Oh, it's okay. Do you understand though? So yeah, I will write here sweet spot, more bow, or do the circles. Did you do others?
Yeah.
Why not?
What?
Why not?
I did do others.
Why not? Why didn't you do others?
I did.
Oh, you did. Number 5 then.
Okay.
I thought you said no. Go. Shoulder blades down. Okay, good. Stop. 2 things. First, you're fighting a little bit too hard. Make sure that you lose here. And the rest, you're doing very, very well. It will also be a little bit faster, I believe. But you can't read, I think. Maybe I'm old and tired and I forgot. Let me turn the lights on. But
What?
I thought. No, you're fine. It's a different exercise. So no, that's only one thing. I thought that there is a piano on the return, but it isn't. So you're fine. There will be a later, very similar exercise where the end would be really quiet. Very good. So this one, shoulders down and free. Otherwise, you're doing well. I would say blades. That usually works. You understand what blades?
The shoulder blade.
Good. Number 6, please.
Okay. Am I supposed to be at the frog?
No.
Oh.
Good, can't you read? Stop. Oh, sorry. What does it say here?
11.
What does it say here?
Oh.
What's this?
An
Hmm?
N.
What does M stands for?
Middle.
Exactly. Vibrate the top of the chord always, and always break the chord before the bounce point. That's very, very good.
Okay.
See? You really you catch the momentum, you got the technique, you did didn't catch the momentum. When they go, see, it's flicking. You're doing the right thing by doing the elbow, but that's actually wrong for this one. See, we need the, look, from here, reach for that and go away like this. See what happens? See, the bow flies. See that? It's very cool actually. Let's try to do that. So we are here. And then you go all the way there and you from here try to just snap it. Yeah! If you make a very quick attack, boom! See, the bow flies by itself, right? Not the up bow, down bow, you silly goose. Right. So that's what starts the bow flying. When you go, I can do it on the same string, but it's much easier when you go, that's the idea. So now I want you to do this. And I don't want you to lighten up. Hit that first note strong. Very good. Do you see how it just suddenly rings and flies, right? Good. Now, I will ask you to do... Gotcha now. Aha! Not bad, but go ta-da-da-da yum pum pum. That's too light. Wrap it in. But then not ta-da-da-da wah, ta-da-da-da yum. Ha. There you go, and relax. As soon as the bow flies, allow it because you're holding on too tight. Much better. Elbow a little bit higher because you a little baby dinosaur. Hop, hop, hop. Let's go. No, you have to go heavy, flick, light. Exactly. And then stop controlling the bow. Let it do its job. Just follow it. Go. You're holding the bow. You have to allow it to fall. See again. Stop holding the bow. It will do it for you by itself. And definitely loosen yourself right here. Go. Very good, spicata, but the first notes are not heavy enough. There. And that much more stable, and the squeak is gone. See? Good. So what should I write?
I don't know.
Me neither.
No squeaking.
I would say détaché, heavy,
Yeah.
flick, and release. Does that make sense? Yay, I'm so good. Number 7. Ooh, we passed the time. Enough of that. Let's hear your piece. Next time you come, we'll go on. Not bad. I'm very impressed.
I don't even know 7.
No, you have plenty to work with. Let's go. Sport, right? Trio. Keep going. You're doing well.
Is this like what? Is this an up bow and then another down bow and then a down bow?
Is it not marked yet?
It says up bow, down bow, down bow.
Yeah. That's correct.
Wait, so this is the same slur as that?
Where did you get this music?
Marcia.
Huh?
Marcia.
Well, what we did was, remember we made that enormous copy before because you didn't have it for us.
Mhm.
And so, since it was like 30 pages long, we,
This is the.
we just took page 1 and 2, and Marcia erased some of the stuff that was in there that was the opposite of
Okay.
what you marked,
um,
and enlarged it a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's good. So
But it doesn't, the only markings that are in there should be whatever you marked. She got rid of anything that wasn't there before. But
that's why I asked. Yeah, because I was wondering what edition it is. I would buy it.
oh, well, right, because she tried to get out whatever, but you didn't make much marks. But it was too confusing to have for her
That's
to have
fine.
all
Okay,
the
so
other
it's up
marks.
bow.
So whatever is in this music so far is correct. Start from the staccato part
No,
and
but
go.
I mean,
Well, but the only thing in it is what you put in so far. Okay.
so it's down, up bow, down bow, and then the down bow.
Are you gonna give us
This is
Samuel's
up bow, down bow.
copy?
See this?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Follow it.
So this is the same slur as this slur?
Oh God. Which bow is this?
Down.
Down. Which bow is this? And this?
Down.
Just follow this, and
But-
that is obviously a slur.
With
It
this?
is. You know what? Hold it.
I'm just wondering, is this part of this? Is
I
this
will
part of this
mark it
slur?
clearly, and you will have no problems. So
Well, good for
This
you, Ella, for
goes
being
up
insistent
to
about what you
here.
get.
Then it goes up to here, and then it goes up to here. It marked exactly correct. Only this thing looks a little bit like some kind of a strange sign instead of the slur. But this goes all the way here.
It's like a sad face.
That's like a sad face, yes. Right. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now you know how to read those marks, right?
Yeah.
And these marks too.
Yeah.
And just follow the up and down signs that are carefully put in there. That's a lot of work there. Go. Mhm. Go on.
I didn't.
Go on. No, you're right. Yes, go on, go on, go on. No, do not ever play backwards. Go on.
What?
Look here. Where are your last staccato? Okay, good. Right. So see, this is down bow, right? So this is down, this is up. If you will reverse this, everything will become backwards. Start from here, start down bow and go then up. F natural. Yeah. Yes, very good. This is a crazy place. It's not very hard, but it's very confusing. So when you go, and I would like for you to play this, guys. I don't always do, and sometimes I suggest open strings, but in your case, I want you to use first fingers, and you will lean on them, stop squeaking, and you will vibrate them. Sing. And this, you're not going to be lazy, and you're not going to do turns, you're going to do trills. Understand? So you're going to... No. Yeah. This is where people usually get confused. Down, up, and then down on a trill. So it will be in marcato. Do you understand? Bless you. This you can use with whatever finger, but this, pay attention, you have 3 on the G and 4 on the C sharp. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
Go on from here. No, first finger there. Da, ji, ra, da, ra, da, ra, 4, 1. Go. Good. Go on. Hang on. Don't want neither 2 opens or 2 4. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Hold the button. So you're going to do 4, 3, 0. And same here, 4, 3, 0, and I will write sim, which means the same thing. Do that to the bar again. Go. Let me show you. It's okay. Don't worry about it. So here we're going. No, hold on. Yes. gesture. Let's keep it with a 3 and we'll shift 0, 1 right there. Yeah, way too small for me, but you will shift properly into the 5th position, right? Do it from here once. Hello. Fourth finger, of course. Oh, no. Fourth finger, you are not staying on A string. Not yet, 4. Not ready. Higher, D. Then you have to go down. The ghost note is C sharp. Go. Let me show you. It's way too small for me, but you will get it. See, you are here, right? You go D. And Maya liked that note very much. Look at her smile. And then like she was doing that, yeah, I'm serious. And then she was going. Do you understand? Not bad. Not bad. In the beginning, I didn't stop you. A little too much whining and sliding.
Okay.
Slides are good, but a little too much. Next time when I see you, I will try to point out to you. There are certain things that in fine art, especially in the sound, one cannot explain. One can only show what sounds good and what sounds not good. Why orange and green don't look together good, right? Look at your face, like orange and green. Ugh. Nobody can explain that. Well, Anthony tries. He goes into some algorithms and spectrums and whatever. I guess it's possible, but the way we are all taught, when you make an expressive, beautiful slide and it sounds good, your teacher says, good job. And when you do a terrible one, the teacher goes, unless the teacher has, and that's how you learn with experience when to slide and when not to, when to play clean and when to get a little schmaltz so it sounds better. Understand? In general, you are on a very, very good track. I don't think that she needs Samuel's music. This is good. Nah.
Okay.
And some things that he was doing, she will not, and vice versa. As I said, in many ways, I agree with some open strings that she played, but in her ways, I would want to play fourth fingers. And for the reasons that her hand is, can I have it violin? Just a violin. Her hand is a little bit this way still. Using the fourth fingers more in this runny passages will focus her a little bit more over and about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a problem, it's not a big deal, it's just a little final polishing touch right there. And she will learn to do this just simply by doing the different fingering. She is also very emotional, she appears to be able, and she desires to vibrate everything. And she looks like Audrey Hepburn, look at her. Have you seen Funny Face? That's Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire. You should, child.
I don't know.
Anyway, do you have any questions?
No.
Good. So next time.
We're on for Saturday, right? It's all fine.
Yeah. Well, it should be. If it's not, I will see what I can do and I'll text.
All right. Thank you.
But at this point, go through, get all the bowings, get all the notes, and try to memorize. You can start learning the second page too. It's a famous piece and it's actually very interesting to me what you will do with it on your own. Okay? All right.
See you at the car, Ella.
Okay.
Bye.